Are you awake? That was a stupid question. Of course you're awake. You literally answered me. Sorry. I didn't mean to bother you. I just couldn't sleep. I've been lying in bed for almost an hour, staring at the ceiling, turning over again. Nothing worked. I even tried counting sheep. That lasted about 30 seconds. So I figured maybe talking to you would help. Selfish, I know. But you're comfortable to be around. You make my brain slow down a little. And tonight, I think I needed that. I hope that's okay. Good. Because I already sat down. And honestly, I'm probably not leaving anytime soon. Thank you for letting me stay. Not that you really had a choice. I was already halfway into your room before I asked. You know, it's weird. I spend all day around people, talking, smiling, pretending I'm not tired. But when everything gets quiet, that's when my brain starts being annoying. It starts replaying every little thing, every awkward moment, every stupid thing I've said, which is a lot, by the way. A lot. Don't agree with me so quickly. That's rude. But talking to you feels different. I don't really have to pretend. I can just be me. And that's kind of nice. Really nice. It's funny. I came here because I couldn't sleep. But now, I don't feel restless anymore. I just feel comfortable. Maybe that's your fault. Maybe that's your fault. Yeah, I'm blaming you. It's easier than admitting I actually needed company. Can I tell you something a little embarrassing? No, seriously. Promise you won't laugh? Actually, never mind. You'll laugh anyway. Sometimes when I know we're both home, I sleep better. Just knowing you're here. It's silly, isn't it? I mean, we're in completely different rooms. You're not doing anything. And somehow my brain goes, oh, everything's fine. It's kind of ridiculous. But I guess that's what happens when someone becomes important to you. That came out more honest than I planned. Forget I said that. Nope, too late. You're smiling now, aren't you? I can hear it. Don't deny it. You're really easy to read sometimes. Still, I'm glad you're here tonight. You know, I wasn't planning on staying this long. I thought I'd come in, talk for a few minutes, maybe feel a little better, and then go back to bed. That was the plan anyway. But now, I kind of don't want to leave. It's nice here. Quiet. Comfortable. And you always listen. Even when I'm rambling about absolutely nothing. Which I do a lot. A lot. Hey, don't look at me like that. I know exactly what you're thinking. Actually, no, that's not true. I have no idea what you're thinking. And that's a little unfair, because you're sitting there all mysterious, while I keep accidentally telling you everything. It's dangerous, you know, being this comfortable around someone. You start saying things you normally keep to yourself, things you weren't planning to admit. Like how I was hoping you'd still be awake, or how I smiled when you answered. Yeah, that one slipped out too. I guess I'm not very good at hiding things from you. You know what the worst part is? I can already feel myself getting sleepy. And somehow, now I don't want to fall asleep. Does that make any sense? I've been fighting with my pillow for hours. And the second I start feeling tired, I suddenly want to stay awake. Just a little longer. Maybe because this is nicer. Maybe because I know the moment I leave, the night is over, and tomorrow starts. I don't know. Maybe I'm being sentimental. It happens sometimes, especially when I'm tired. Everything feels a little softer, a little quieter, a little more important. Hey, thank you for staying up with me. You didn't have to, but you did anyway. I really appreciate that, more than you probably realize. Okay, now you're definitely going to make me sleepy. And if I fall asleep sitting here, I'm blaming you for that too. Just so we're clear. You know, I think I finally figured something out. Which is impressive, because I'm usually very slow when it comes to these things. I kept wondering why I came here tonight. I told myself it was because I couldn't sleep. And that's true. At least a little. But I don't think that's the whole reason. I think I just wanted to be somewhere that felt safe. And before you say anything, no, don't make this weird. I'm trying to be serious. Life gets noisy sometimes. People get noisy. Thoughts get noisy. And every now and then, you find someone who makes all of that quiet down. That's what being around you feels like. Like I can finally hear myself think. Like I can breathe normally again. And honestly, that's a pretty rare thing. So, thank you for being my favorite quiet place. Wow, that sounded way more romantic than I intended. Let's pretend I phrased that differently. Immediately. Nope. We're moving on. Immediately. I refuse to stay on that topic any longer. You already look way too pleased with yourself. Don't even try to deny it. I know that face. It's the same face you make when you know you've won an argument, even if there wasn't an argument. It's very annoying. Actually, no. It's kind of cute. See? This is exactly the problem. I keep trying to stop saying embarrassing things. And then I immediately say another one. I'm never going to recover from tonight. At least the rain sounds nice. Listen, I think I could stay here for hours just listening to that. No phone, no notifications, no responsibilities. Just the rain. And, well, maybe one other thing. Don't make me say it. I'm trying very hard to preserve what's left of my dignity. Wait. Did you just stop paying attention to me? Hey. I'm talking over here. This is very rude, you know. I'm in the middle of embarrassing myself. The least you could do is stay awake for it. Oh, there it is again. That slow blink. Yeah, you're definitely getting sleepy. I knew it. And honestly, I'm not surprised. It's late. The rain is relaxing. And I've been talking nonstop. Maybe that's what did it. Maybe I bored you to sleep. Wow, that would be devastating for my ego. Absolutely devastating. Though, you do look comfortable. A lot more comfortable than when I walked in. That's good. I was hoping for that. You know what? Don't answer. I think I already know. You're trying really hard to stay awake. And it's not working. Not even a little. No. Don't worry. You don't have to stay awake for me. Really, I think I've stolen enough of your time tonight. Probably more than enough. Though I have to admit, I'm glad you did. Stay awake, I mean. I think tonight would have felt a lot longer by myself. A lot lonelier, too. Ah, there I go again. Getting honest. Maybe being tired lowers my defenses. Or maybe I'm just bad at hiding things around you. Honestly, it's probably both. You look peaceful. Did you know that? Not right now. I mean, in general. When you're relaxed. When you're not trying to solve problems. When you're not worrying about tomorrow. I wish you could see yourself like that. Sometimes I think you'd be a little kinder to yourself. Anyway, that's enough of me being sentimental for one night. I'm already way over my limit. You know, it's kind of funny. A few hours ago, I was lying awake, completely unable to relax. And now, I can barely keep my eyes open. I guess that's one problem solved. Thank you. Not for anything big. Just for tonight. For listening. For being patient with me. For pretending all of my rambling made sense. That last one was especially generous. I really do appreciate it. You know what? I think tomorrow is going to be okay. Not because anything changed. Not because all my problems disappeared. Just because tonight was nice. Sometimes that's enough. A good conversation. A quiet room. The sound of rain. And someone you trust. I think that's enough to make tomorrow feel a little lighter. At least for me. I hope it helps you too. Actually, can I tell you something weird? It's not a serious thing. At least, I don't think it is. Whenever it's raining like this, I start imagining completely different lives. Different apartments, different cities, different versions of myself. Do you ever do that? Just sit there and wonder, what would happen if one tiny thing had gone differently? Maybe you took a different job. Maybe you met different people. Maybe you never ended up here. That one always gets me. Because then I start thinking, what if we'd never met? Okay, wow. That got dramatic fast. Let's rewind. Immediately. Still, I'm glad reality picked this version. The one where we're both awake at some ridiculous hour, listening to rain. You know what's funny? I don't think people realize how predictable they are. Including you. Especially you. Don't look offended. I'm saying that affectionately. You've got habits. Tiny little habits. Things you probably don't even notice anymore. But once somebody spends enough time around you, they start seeing all of them. Like how you always check the weather and then completely ignore it. Or how you say you're only going to watch one thing and somehow it's 3 hours later. I still don't know how you do that. It's honestly impressive. My favorite one, though, is when you're concentrating. You get this look, like the entire world disappears for a minute, and suddenly nothing exists except whatever you're focused on. It's kind of nice. I don't know. Maybe I just like watching people be passionate about things. Maybe that's it. Or maybe I've just been paying too much attention. That's also possible. I just realized something. This entire conversation started because I couldn't sleep. And somehow, we've ended up talking about absolutely everything except sleep. Which feels very on brand for me. Give me one simple problem, and I'll find a way to create 5 more. It's a talent. A very specific talent. Still, I'm glad I came in here. I almost didn't. I was standing outside for a minute, trying to decide. Should I knock? Should I leave you alone? Should I go back to my room? And then I thought, no, I'd rather spend time with you. Wow, that sounded incredibly direct. Let's just pretend I phrased that differently. Again, apparently that's becoming a habit tonight. But it's true. If I had gone back to my room, I'd probably still be staring at the ceiling. Instead, I'm here. And honestly, I think I like this version of the night a lot more. There's something I've always wondered about. Not a big thing. Just one of those random questions that shows up in the middle of the night. Which feels appropriate, considering the time. What do you think about when you can't sleep? Not the serious stuff. Everybody thinks about serious stuff. I mean, the weird things. The completely random things. The thoughts that make perfect sense at 2 a.m. and absolutely no sense the next day. I have so many of those. Yesterday, I spent 20 minutes wondering if fish get bored. 20 minutes. Don't judge me. I was tired. And once the question appeared, I needed answers. Unfortunately, I still don't have any. Being awake at night is dangerous. Not because of monsters. Not because of ghosts. Because your brain suddenly decides every ridiculous question is important. And somehow, those are always my favorite conversations. The pointless ones. The silly ones. The ones that don't need to go anywhere. I think that's why I like talking to you. We can spend 10 minutes discussing something completely ridiculous. And somehow, it still feels like time well spent. That's probably a very strange compliment. But I'm counting it as one.
Speaking of weird things, I used to be convinced there was something living in my closet. Not a monster. Not exactly. Just something. In my defense, I was like 8. And closets are suspicious. You can't prove they're not. Every night I'd stare at the door, waiting. Absolutely certain that the second I looked away, something would happen. Of course, nothing ever did. But that didn't stop me. I was committed. Years of unnecessary paranoia. A truly impressive performance. The funny part is, I still remember exactly how it felt. Not the fear, the imagination. Everything seemed possible back then. Every shadow had a story. Every sound meant something. Sometimes I miss that. Not being scared. Just looking at ordinary things and finding them interesting. Though maybe I still do that. A little. Probably more than a little, actually. I think that's the longest I've stayed awake talking to someone in a while. And somehow I still don't feel like we've run out of things to say. That's dangerous. Very dangerous. Because if we keep going, the sun is eventually going to come up. And then we'll both have to explain why we're exhausted tomorrow. Actually, I'm blaming you. I've already decided. Still, I'm glad tonight happened. Not the part where I couldn't sleep. The part after. The part where I came in here. The part where we talked. The part where everything felt a little lighter. Maybe that's enough for one night. Maybe that's enough for both of us. So, I think I'm finally getting tired. The good kind of tired. The kind that feels warm. The kind that says it's okay to stop thinking for a while. Which is probably for the best. My brain has already embarrassed me enough tonight. Thank you for being here. For listening. For making a rainy night feel a little less lonely. Sleep well, okay? And don't stay up thinking too much. That's my job. Good night. Sweet dreams. I'll see you tomorrow,